Hi, welcome to the Leadership During Crisis Online Summit series. Thank you for taking your time to watch these episodes. Please remember to subscribe at our YouTube channel, follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook under Leadership During Crisis. Why or what led to the crisis in your organization?
The crisis that I experienced, that was back during the Asian financial crisis in 1998, especially in Indonesia. So at that point, I had this project in Indonesia developing a golf resort.
So in that situation itself, what deteriorated the most and what kind of crucial steps you have to take to turn around the situation?
At that point, actually, we are at the stage of completing the golf resort. That means the golf course, 18 holes, we have basically planted all the turf, the grasses. And for the clubhouse, we are at the stage of construction. So unfortunately, when the crisis hit, we haven't really started the operation. That means we haven't got cash flow. So that was a critical point. And we really have to make a judgment call. What do we do at that point? Do we just stop the project? And if we stop the project, basically all the turf that we have planted will gone to waste. Yeah, the turf, the grass is a living thing, right? Unless we really maintain it. Otherwise, those effort, those investment that we have done will be gone down the drain. So that was a judgment call at that point. And I think the focus is actually how to survive that crisis. So with the limited fund that we have, we decided actually we should make sure we utilize it to complete the golf course, the turfing, which is already at an advanced stage, and also complete part of the clubhouse so that we can actually open for business despite whatever limitation at that point. Doing our investment in the turf is at least not gone to waste. And in fact, we use that opportunity to really sharpen our tools, to make sure, we really train the staff to provide a good level of service, as well as also to improve the product, to make it in such a way that the golfers who come and play are actually impressed with the golf course and the service that they get. In fact, at that point, we decided that we should aim to get awards since it was a new golf course and a golf club. And by all this effort that we did, it really yielded a good result that we were aiming for. So we got a very good international accolade, good reward, good branding, which actually prepare ourselves for the upside after the crisis.
But usually, like you mentioned, with the limited funds and during financial crisis, they will call it like maybe a luxury game like golf and all those may not be the first thing on people's mind. How did you position yourself such that at least you get enough revenue while you train your staff and ensure that you have good service before the good times come?
Since it was a new golf course, we did a lot of promotion. It was not so much of making profit, but really to keep the cash flow going. And as an introduction to new golfers as well, those who haven't been to the club. So it was sort of a promotion to get them to experience the golf club, to experience the fantastic quality of the golf course. So I think that was how we keep the business going. Actually, this is in a way part of the business continuity that we did. Yeah, it's a part of that strategy.
So it's somehow or rather pretty similar to a situation like COVID-19 right now, where like a lot of the F&B and all those, they are not necessarily able to operate. So in a situation like this, after running businesses for a long time, what would be the 3 tips that you would suggest from your previous learnings to people on how they can tide over a crisis as such?
I would think the first key point is how to survive. And that a lot depend on cash flow. Have to really put a lot of attention. Top priority is the cash flow to make sure that the business can keep going. And the other 2 points, I think, is actually sharpening the tools. One is on the product itself. The other is actually on the service, the training of the staff. So during this low time, during this difficult time, keep the cash flow going, how to be able to operate efficiently and generate the kind of cash flow to keep afloat. And that is also the time to really sharpen the quality of the products, sharpen the service quality. That would really put the business in a good position when the crisis is over.
You mentioned that managing the cash flow is very critical in instances like this. Could you share with us what are some of the things people can do or businesses can do to improve their cash flow?
One is on the collection, the account receivable. I think that is something that is very critical. So the ability to collect payment, that is number one. And of course, on the expenses as well, really have to prioritize what must really spend and what are the secondary, those that are nice to have, those have to be deferred. So we really have to focus on what really must have, the absolute must have.
We have been so far discussing really more on the business aspect. Sometimes a crisis like this puts an individual into a very tight spot, and at times the individual may be made redundant, and if they have not had the luxury to crisis proof themselves by setting the reserves aside, then all of a sudden they lose their job, they're worried about the next day's meal. What would be 3 tips you would have for individuals like this to actually prepare themselves and tie over?
I think the important thing is never lose hope, never give up. Despite the difficult time, I think it's important to remain positive, must be able to look at the brighter side. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. The crisis is going to be over after a certain period of time. So it's important that remain positive and try to grow despite the challenges, in the sense of trying to learn something during this period. I think for those who are unfortunate, who may lose their job, maybe this is the time to reskill or learn a new skill.